بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا وتمرات فائداتنا وخليلنا وحبيبنا محمد الخليل ماذا الخبير ذي والكبير ما لا يبور من اللهاء خباء ربي خيلي وخبي مع المخابي سوف استهائي مع احتلالي مع خضلالي من من خلالي بلا انتهاء مدخو مقافى عمري يا صافى وقد صافى لي باعتنائي دام اقترابي عند ترابي بلا اغترابي والعناء ولا عنائي ينخو شكوري إلى شكوري على شكوري زرفي شنائي إلى التقي لبشي شقي باب الرقي ينهو ندائي لم ينخو قلبي داع لقلبي أو داعي سلبي وداعي دائي خير العباد سبقوا كبادي من المبادئ لذي اقتدائي لك شهور منك المهور لك زهور يوم الخفاء يا ذا الكتائب لغير تائب لخير تائب منك شفائي لك خروفي منك ظروفي مع الوروف يا ذا اللهاء لك خروفي منك ظروفي مع الوروف يا ذا اللهاء وعلى آله وصحبه عن ظاهرهم هذه القصيدات أبدا آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وسلم. This is Sheikh Ibrahim Afar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Disciple of Musa Jakhate Boram Khawi, disciple of Salihin Salihu radiallahu an. Today we'll be bringing you briefly some points on Dhikrullah, or invoking Allah through the practice of remembering Allah. It is to purify the heart, to elevate the maqam, which is your station, your spiritual station. And it says in Surah 43, verse 36, وَمَن يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ نَقِيضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. And whosoever turns away blindly from the remembrance of the most gracious Allah, we appoint for him shaitan, a devil, to be a Qur'an, a companion to him. So it's stating that whoever turns away from the remembrance of prime source creator, we appoint for them a devil to be a companion. Remembering prime source creator is one of the greatest acts of ibadah, or worship, or service that one can do. To remember your essential nature. Many desires here in the dunya we strive to satisfy this desire through food, through lust, through intercourse, through pursuing many different things. And this desire is insatiable. And none of these things are bringing the heart tranquility, true harmony. So verily through the remembrance of prime source creator does the heart find peace. In Tasawwuf, what people call Sufism, the esoteric aspect of Islam, one of the most common practices we do is Zikrullah. Verily, Allah has the most beautiful names, and we use these names to invoke these different aspects of the highest degree of our nature. So these things that we do, these spiritual exercises are also psychological exercises, ways to purify the subconscious mind, ways to elevate the conscious mind, ways to blend the subconscious with the superconscious, affect the magnetic conscious, as well as the infinite consciousness, to engage interpersonal and intrapersonal consciousness. And these are done through the invocations or through Zikrullah. Some points on Zikrullah coming from the book by Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba, Khadim Rasul, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, radiallahu anhu. In this book, Masliko Janan, Sheikh Ahmadu Bamba has a chapter called Zikr practice or invocation practice. It's 110 verses, so I don't intend to tackle all the verses in this chapter today. But inshallah ta'ala, we will bring you some of the verses, a good portion of the chapter. The Sheikh says, as for zikr practice, or as for zikr regular performance, it is indeed the best deed to do which a God seeker or al-murid may devote himself. And I do openly say this without any mysterious paraphrases or the least concern for deniers. To any such that would question me about, I have in my possession this plain answer. Read thou this verse. The remembrance of Allah, zikr, is the greatest thing without doubt. I do assert that whoever gives up the remembrance of the utterance of Allah's holy attributes in return for the remembrance of all else, such a one is a winsome fool for certain. What? How can the creatures forget or show heedlessness for the recollection of whom has created them and has given them shape? Remembering Allah's attributes represents the first step towards saintliness, and its giving up in the height of going, and its giving up is the height of going astray. So this point that the Sheikh is making, that remembering Allah's attributes represents the first step towards saintliness, and you giving it up is the height of going astray. May Allah rank us among his servants who spend their whole lifetime in meditating on his signs and repeating his fine names. So you have, not only do you have Zikrullah, which is to remember Allah or invoke Allah's most beautiful names, as there are 99 names, and each name is representative of many worlds. These are very high vibrations. So when you invoke Allah's most beautiful names, the Asmaul Husna, this is a degree of zikr practice, as well as to read Al-Quran Kareem is a zikr. There's certain practices like the basmala, repeating Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Lord of all the worlds. As is said in the basmala, it contains all of the whole entire 7 most commonly recited ayats in the Quran, the Surah al-Fatiha. So within the Basmala, the actual Fatiha, the whole entire Fatiha is contained in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praises be to Allah, Lord of all the worlds, most gracious, most merciful. You we worship, and your aid we seek. Guide us on the straight way, the way of those on whom you have bestowed your favors, not the way of those who have earned your wrath, nor of those who go astray. This is the Fatiha. All that whole entire Fatiha is contained in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Again, the Fatiha, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, Siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim, Ghayril maghdubi alayhim, Waladdallin. This is all contained in the phrase Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And the essence of the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is the point beneath the ba. This is the quintessential or infinitesimal point which everything in the universes in the world revolves around. You see? So the whole Al-Quran Kareem is contained in the 7 most often repeated verses, Surah al-Fatiha. The Fatiha is contained in the Basmala. In the essence of the Basmala is the point beneath the Ba. The Ba is the Arabic letter, and there's a point beneath. From this point comes all other letters in the Arabic alphabet, and each one of them have their own mystic meaning, their abjad, their numeric application, which contains the vibratory essence that forms the words, that forms the phrases, you see. So the Sheikh further goes on to say, there are, however, differing opinions among the honorable masters as to know whether it is preferable to utter Allah's name in a low or loud voice. Some give preference to lowering the voice in their concern to not lapse into obstination, and to concentrate better for any that is intending to accomplish dhikr. While other masters prefer the raising of their voice so as to transmit its echo to the neighboring fellows who might be tempted to imitate such dhikr performer. For whenever someone else happens to do the same, twofold reward wilt thou be imparted only to the prompting of other people to do good deeds. Moreover, given that all human senses have to take part in the remembrance of the Lord and cherisher of mankind, thy tongue must partake therein as well. Other scholars have adopted the happy medium of such a divergence in giving these following particulars. If a man fears to lapse into ostentation, it behooves him to lower his voice and to conceal his performance in doing so. So if you are a person who feels that your ego will be engaged, or you would be too outward of a show, then it's recommended to lower the voice and to conceal the performance of the zikr. For in this case, the act of worship will be safeguarded against annulment only if fulfillment in discretion and secrecy, so says the Sheikh. But if a man is free from that danger, owing to his firmness and his inner purity conferred by long habit, his duty is then to raise his voice as to gain benefits derived from imitation. So if you've done zikr for a long time and you've already purified your psychology, your heart from any feeling of ostentation, over exalting yourself, or not becoming egotistic, then it's advised to raise the voice. That way someone may repeat or imitate the dhikr practice. And that way you don't only gain the barakah or the blessings of light from you doing the dhikr, but for someone imitating that act, the vibration is increased and the barakah, the blessing, is increased. This justly balanced opinion is that of Sheikh Al Mukhtar Kuntiyu. May Allah the Maker be well pleased with him. Refer, O my fellow, to the shield of the God Seeker, of that upright leader, for those questions relating to the zikr. This is a book that Sheikh Mukhtar Kuntiyu wrote, the shield of the God Seeker, the shield of the Murid. He continues to go on. Are likewise counted among the rules of zikr its performance in a clean place, sit cross-legged or squatting down, as during prayer, having one's face turned toward the Kaaba, wearing scent, seeing the places where zikr is performed are necessary, frequented by angels and Muslim jinns that come to listen, as agrees on the consensus of the doctors of Islamic law in the Ijma. So these are the recommendations of how to perform the zikr. Belonging also to zikr requirements, the entire dedication of the deeds of Allah, the servant has so to prevent aught that is not proper to mix therewith. Know thou that. If thou art a beginner, the phrases of negation, falsehood are suitable for thee. So for a beginner, the phrase of negation, which is La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. Also, some people say there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. Some people interpret it that way, but in the higher realms of ihsan or spiritual perfection, La ilaha illallah actually declares that Allah is the only reality. So this is a different level of the realization of La ilaha illallah, that Allah is the only reality. So the Sheikh says, such as La ilaha illallah, there's no God but Allah. As for who that is experienced in zikr, he may content himself in repeating word Allah. So for the more person that is experienced, repeating Allah, 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 Allah. This is one of the great seer or secrets of zikr. And when repeating this is something that heightens the maqam. It heightens your station, heightens your predominant mental attitude. It brings this vibe. This is one of the greatest things you could do, to repeat the name Allah over and over and over again and meditating on that. The unveiling of the wondrous secrets ensuing from such a practice would not be proper here, for they are as vast and as boundless as the ocean. So the Shaykh, he said, he can't even reveal those boundless secrets, because they're as vast as the ocean that derives from the zikr of law, or the invoking of the name of Allah, and just meditating on that zikr. Allahu, 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 Allahu. Constantly repeating the name of Allah. Anyone that would like to penetrate such secrets has to renounce for good worldly vanities. So you wouldn't even be able to penetrate into those type of secrets. Are too sacred to be openly written in a book accessible to anyone. One may obtain some of them in conversing with a regular dhikr performer, but not through vain disputing. We achieve them by true submission to Allah and great effort, but not through disparaging and dissension. One acquire them in impeding one's basic drives and lusts, nay, by belittling those who have been imparted preeminence by Allah. The best speech that can be uttered is indisputably the Islamic profession of faith, the Shahada. There is no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah. However, or whoever pronounces it strongly convinced of its meaning shall enter heaven. should suffice thee as an evidence, therefore, is calling the price of the Lord's heaven, owning to is shielding from trials. It is also called Allah's fortress. Do then pronounce it constantly. So this puts you in a state, a spiritual state of Jannah, a spiritual state of a garden beneath which waters flow, a state of heaven. So we're going to stop here because that in itself is a lot. So inshallah ta'ala, we here at Diwaanu Salihin will revisit the topic of the chapter on Dhikr law, and actually I'll read the same verse or ayat out of chapter 43 and verse 36, coming from the Code in the Quran by Ahmed Halusi, a unique Sufi perspective. So that same exact verse, Surah 43, Ayat 36. This is out of Ahmed Halusi's book, The Code in the Quran. You can actually get this book for free. We'll send it to you. If you go to the site right here, the site is Ahmed Halusi, or www.ahmedhalusi.org/en/. That's www.ahmedhalusi.org/en/. So you can see that right there. You can go to that site and you can get this book, The Code in the Quran, completely free of shipping and handling as well. Great book. So here in the ayat it reads, this is what the actual elaborations in parentheses. And whoever is blinded with external things from the remembrance of Ar-Rahman, or the Most Merciful, remembering that his essential reality is composed of the names of Allah, and thus from living the requirements of this, we appoint for him a shaitan, a delusion, the ideal that he is only the physical body and that life should be lived in pursuit of bodily pleasures. And this belief will become his new identity. So, Sadaqallah al-Azim, until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد